Hi everyone, thank you for stopping by. My name is Joy and I hope you're all doing well. This is now my fourth update on the Years of Usage Eyeshadow Project Pan created by Sarah Katherine. The goal of this project is to use each eyeshadow in the project 21 times. I will put the card up here for the details of my project, as well as on the description box, Sarah Katherine's intro video for the details of the project. Let me give you a recap of my progress for the past 3 updates. On my first update, I hit goal on 3 eyeshadows. On the second, I hit goal on 7 eyeshadows. And on my third, I hit goal on 4 eyeshadows. So for the 3 updates, I hit goal on 14 eyeshadows. I am working on 8 eyeshadow palettes and the total number of eyeshadows in the project is 100. So that means I am now at 14%. But to be on track and hit my goal 100% by the end of the year, I should be at 25%. Realistically, I don't think I'll hit 100% because I'm also working on Pondot Palette 2021, and my goal for that project is to use up all of the eyeshadows in that project. So it will be a bit of a challenge working on these eyeshadows as well. The 14 eyeshadows I hit goal on came from 5 eyeshadow palettes. So from the Wet n Wild Comfort Zone, I hit goal on 3 eyeshadows. From the Tarte Rainforest of the Sea, I hit goal on 7 eyeshadows. From Winky Lux, I hit goal on 1 eyeshadow. From ColourPop, Through My Eyes, I hit goal on 2 eyeshadows. And from the You Can Be Belonging, I hit goal on 1 eyeshadow. Last month, I decided to focus on 10 eyeshadows which were selected randomly. This is to help me focus on what to work on and not to focus on working on just 1 to 2 palettes. So as I mentioned earlier, I hit goal on 7 eyeshadows in the Tarte Rainforest of the Sea, and then for the Wet n Wild already hit goal on 3 eyeshadows. I haven't hit goal on these 3 eyeshadows and I have barely used them. So this random selection will probably help me work on the other eyeshadows in the project as well. The 10 eyeshadows selected randomly came from 5 eyeshadow palettes. So let's start with the ColourPop. So from ColourPop, there were 3 eyeshadows selected. So we have Canela, Lomo, and Muse. For Canela, I already used that 10 times, and I only used this 3 times for this update. For Lomo, I used that already 13 times, and I was able to hit my goal on this one. So I used that 8 times for this update. And then, for Muse, I already used that 11 times, and I only used that 4 times. So I still need to use that 6 more times to hit goal. So for this eyeshadow palette, I now have 3 eyeshadows that I've hit goal on. So we have Moody, Lomo, and Muse. And Mesmerize. And then next we have is the You Can Be from You Can Be eyeshadow palette. There are 2 eyeshadows selected randomly here. So we have Radio and we have Wild Heart. For Radio, I already used this 4 times. And for this update, I just use it twice. Which means to say, I still need to use this 15 times to hit goal. And then for Wild Heart, I already used that 3 times. And I used this 4 times. So this I've used only 7 times. On this eyeshadow palette, the only one I hit goal on is Jet. And the rest I actually haven't used 10 times. So there's still a long way to go for this eyeshadow palette. And then next is from the Pure Soiree Diaries. So this one. For this one, I haven't actually used this previously. So I haven't hit goal on any of the eyeshadows. There are two eyeshadows selected randomly. So we have Cosmo and we have Gala. I was able to hit goal on Gala. So when I started this, I used this 10 times. And I used that 11 times for this update. For Cosmo, I also used this 10 times and I used it for 4 times. So all in all, 14 times. Now, apart from these two eyeshadow, I also use Private Party ones. I also use Snazzy, Epic ones. So these 3 eyeshadows I use once for this update. So it's actually good that I get to work on other eyeshadows because I also get to use some of the other eyeshadows in the palette and help me progress and get nearer to my goal. Now next would be from Winky Lux. So from Winky Lux, I only hit goal on one eyeshadow and that is the shade Boots. This one. Randomly selected are 2 eyeshadows. So we have this Romeo and 9 Lives. Now for Romeo, I was able to hit goal on this one. I already used it 11 times. And then I just need to use it 10 times. And I did use it 10 times. For the 9 Lives, I already used that 10 times. But I only used it 3 times last month. I mean in this update. Now, in addition to those 2 eyeshadows, I also worked on the Pearl eyeshadow. This one, I was already at 19 uses. So I just needed to use it twice. Which means to say in this palette, I already hit goal. For this update rather, I also hit goal on this one. So there are 2 eyeshadows I hit goal on and I already hit goal on 3 eyeshadows all in this palette. In addition to those shades, I also worked on Cat Eye. So I used this 3 times. I still need to use this twice. So just 2 more times to hit 21 uses. And I also use Holographic. This one, I used this in total 15 times. And then the next eyeshadow that randomly selected is coming from the I Heart Revolution. And for this one, there's just one eyeshadow selected, randomly selected, and that is Slice of Cake. And I was able to use that 21 times already. So prior to this update, I used this 13 times. So I used that 8 times. And then apart from that one, I also worked on the other eyeshadow. So I got to use Butter, Fluffy, this shade, Sunshine. I also use Sugar. And I use Sharp But Sweet. Now for Sharp But Sweet, I also hit goal on this one because I used this 7 times and I was already at 14 usage. So that means for this eyeshadow palette, I have hit goal on 2 eyeshadows. In total, for this update, I hit goal on 6 eyeshadows. So that's not bad, I would say, considering my progress. It's less than my second update, but I have hit 6 eyeshadows, hit goal on 6 eyeshadows, which means to say I'm now at 20%. So now let me select 10 more eyeshadows randomly. So I'm not going to roll over those that I didn't hit goal on. Actually, if you would have noticed, I didn't get to use the blue shades. So Radio and 9 Lives, it took me a while because those are not really a shade I'm leaning on right now. And then the other shades that I didn't get to use a lot are the brown shades because I have a lot of brown eyeshadows that I'm working on in my project, in my Panda palette. So I've set my Pretty Random app The minimum is 1 and the maximum is 100. I'm going to select 12 eyeshadows just in case it select an eyeshadow that I've already hit goal on. Okay? So let me just randomly select 12 eyeshadows first, and then I'll show you later the 10 eyeshadows that I'll be focusing on for this period.
So the first one is 35. The second one is 26. 2, 6, 54, 98, 27, 81, 86, 54, 59.
Let's just see how many I've already selected.
2, 4, 6, 8, 9, 10, 11.
11, one more. 15. Okay, I'll be back. Hi, I'm back. I have identified the eyeshadows that I need to focus on. I actually needed to generate some more numbers because some of those numbers selected were either a duplicate or I already hit my goal on. I will be working on 5 eyeshadow palettes, and the eyeshadow palettes that I won't be focusing on will be Winky Lux, Through My Eyes, this ColourPop Through My Eyes, and Smashbox. And the eyeshadows are all coming from the randomly selected eyeshadows will be coming from these 5 eyeshadow palettes. So let's start with the Tarte Rainforest of the Sea. Finally, I'll be working on the eyeshadow I haven't hit goal on yet, and that is the shade Breezy. And then from the Wet n Wild Color Icon, this one I'll be working on the eyelid shade, this one on the left. And then coming from this I Heart Revolution Lemon Drizzle, I'll be working on Afternoon Tea and Baked. So I now have 4 eyeshadows randomly selected. From here, so from these 2 palettes, there are 3 eyeshadows selected randomly. We have here from the Pure Soiree Diaries. First, we have Private Party, Socialite, and Twinkle. And then from this You Can Be Belonging eyeshadow palette, it selected again Wild Heart, and then Accelerate and Smug. So those are the 10 eyeshadows that I'll be focusing on for this time, and hopefully in my next update I will be updating you that I have hit my goal on several of the eyeshadows that were randomly selected. So that's my update, and I would like to thank you all for watching, and I hope to see you in my next update. Bye!